What's up, everybody? It's Anthony Vices. Another day, another video, and today I kind of wanted to talk on anger. It's something I've been thinking about a lot lately, especially going with my past and revisiting and doing some self-reflection, some introspection, and just overall some check in with myself, maintenance. I just want to see like what's one of the biggest contributors to like why I am not where I want to be in my life, and a lot of people will contribute that to lack of self-esteem or lack of confidence or lack of ambition or drive or whatsoever. But no, none of those have been my problem specifically. Yes, I've had low self-esteem at one point, and yes, I have had low confidence. But no, when I really think about the one thing specifically that has held me back throughout multiple opportunities in my life has happened to be my anger. A lot of people like to say they have anger issues, not to diminish or dismiss their claims of having anger issues, anger management problems. No, mines are to the point where the crash outs will literally potentially ruin my life, and to some degree it kind of has. It's stunted my growth in ways that I couldn't possibly fathom in my 20s. Again, 31 years old, turning 32. I've been thinking about it more and more, and as I level out in my 30s and I just think more, I realize there's nothing wrong with being angry. I think a lot of people get the misconception that being angry is bad. It's an emotion that we all feel, and it's perfectly normal. Like sadness, happiness, all these things are perfectly normal. The problem with me, per se, is how I channel said anger. Now, you can contribute that to being in a broken household or nurture, and as far as like my upbringing with my peers and relatives and things of that nature. You can always use that as an example of why I would be that way. But simply put, what happened. It's for me, it's more so in this that I never knew how to channel my anger properly. So when I got mad, I just explode, and that was the end of it. And most of the time when I look back at my situation, especially pertaining to like work situations, it would be where I feel like I am wronged. In some of the cases I am wronged. And I let my anger get the best of me instead of channeling that anger and like, okay, let me breathe a little bit, let me think. All right, let's calm down. Why are we angry? Is it justified in the first place? And if it is, what are we going to actually do about it? Because lashing out isn't going to solve anything. So that's pretty much the introduction to this video, but I am going to give you a good example of what I mean. So let's dial back, Jesus Christ. Let's say 2014, I am 20 years old. I got a job at a grocery store or whatever, and I'm still just as angry as ever. I walk around with like I got a chip on my shoulder, I'm resting bitch face, so forth and so forth. I have all these things going on. Like life is so hard, and God, I wish I can go back. But so there's this manager that came. I'm not gonna give his actual name. We just gonna call him Ned. I hated this dude. I really did, but he taught me some valuable lessons about it. Unintentionally, by the way. So me and this dude, we didn't hit it off good at all. When I work at any job, I have a really particular way about doing things. I like to be as efficient as possible, so I learn it their way, and then I add my own way to it as long as it still goes inside the guidelines to where I'm not breaking the rules or anything, just to make it as efficient as possible. Needless to say, in my eyes, the way I summarize this dude is that, he's on a power trip. He was like 5'2". What's 5'2" is crazy. No, like 5'6", kind of a short guy, bald dude, no hair. Not even trying to roast the dude. Nothing crazy. It's just that he just didn't have any fucking hair. Kind of stubby, not like lean, kind of like skinny fat. Had a very, very like, what's the way I want to add, he had a demeanor that you could tell he was lame, but he tried to put on the facade of being, like nonchalant or cool, or he just tried too hard to fit in, and it showed in dividends. So yeah, needless to say, me and dude did not hit it off at all. So any little thing that he would say to me, it would instantly like make me mad, or I took it the wrong way. Instead of just saying, hey, it's just a job, do your job, I took everything so personal back then. Again, going back to what I was saying earlier, the way I was growing up, nature versus nurture, all that stuff, all that plays a part into it. But it leads me to, 2014, I'm 20 years old. Got a chip on my shoulder. I think I know more than I actually do, which also makes me angry. Not so much as I am the most smartest person in the classroom, but when you're very young, you have a certain arrogance about you that you're new to the world and you think you know a lot, but in reality, looking at it 12 years later, I didn't know shit. Not at all. So we're gonna fast forward about 2016, 2017. That's where everything came down to, like, it got really bad. So I'm years in with this job. I've been doing the same routine for 2-3 years, and I'm like, well, I got this. I've been doing the same job. It's a very repetitive job. Serve the customers, you do this, done, you leave. And every time you get a new boss, they like to, implement their way of doing things. And my mindset at the time was, instead of just trying to come in and do a hostile takeover, mind you, it's none of my fucking business anyway. My sole objective is to just do the damn job, regardless of who's there or not. Managers, they come in and out, doesn't matter. Do your job, leave. Too immature for that at that point in time. So I took it as an affront to me that this guy's trying to come over here and change everything and this, that, and the third. And deep down, I shouldn't have cared. But again, arrogant, just got out of my teenage years, haven't settled down, don't have a lot of life experience. So again, everything, every little small thing, he could be like, take out the trash, or I just want to go over your area one more time before we get out of here, and instantly I would have an attitude. So what eventually came down to it, he had a talk with me right now. My thick-headed ass at the point in time was like, what the fuck can this nigga tell me? He can't tell me nothing. I'm gonna do this. I know better. I've been doing this for X amount of years. Every time I think about how I used to act around my early 20s, I cringe. I'm like, bro, if you would have just really calmed the fuck down and just shut the fuck up, your life would have been a lot easier. So he sat me down, and although he was weird and had some creepy ulterior motives outside of the job, none of my business, he really sat me down and said, you know what, as great of a worker as you are, and you have a great work ethic, and you're very intelligent, blase, yeah. Your attitude and your mindset is going to always, and I mean always, hold you back. And at that point in time, being like 21, 22 again, I'm thinking like, man, whatever, as long as I keep working hard and doing this, that, and the third, it shouldn't matter how it absolutely matters. You're dealing with people. And I really wish, humbling myself now, I really wish I would have took that to heart, but for some odd reason, my ego got the better of me, and I just really thought that I just knew everything, and my anger was so bad. To the point leading up to me actually getting terminated from my job for this. Crazy story, and it all could have been avoided. Remember earlier how I said I've been working 2 to 3 years at this job? So with that, of course, you should already know what to expect. You're in a grocery store. I'm working in the deli section, by the way. You're a grocery store, people are hungry, people have attitude. You really shouldn't have let people's moods really affect how you do your job. Now, of course, people are gonna say some flagrant shit, or people are gonna say some flagrant things to get on your nerve, but that shouldn't really get in between you and your job. As I'm older now, yeah, get the manager involved, make him actually do his job. That has nothing to do with me. Going to the situation that eventually got me terminated, right? Came in, regular day, get started on my area, whatnot, and there's this old woman. And you never know when these situations are going to happen, mind you. Older woman comes in, she makes her order, and We all know it. If you work customer service before, you know what I'm saying. You know how I feel about this. And they ask for some outlandish crap that you know that you're not supposed to order. But because in the industry that I'm working in, they're going to bend the knee and give it to them anyway. Now, if I was in my right mind, right? I have a 401, I'm 21 years old. I got a 401k plan. I got great benefits. I'm working consistently, essentially full-time at that point. I got everything heading in the right direction. All I have to do is not be an idiot. I'm already pissed off at management as an entirety, as the whole store. I'm pissed off at management, and it shows in how I act. And the lady asked for the order, and as I'm walking off, because at first I told her, ma'am, you can't make that order. We can't do that for you. Here's a substitution. Maybe we can do this for you, but I cannot give you this specific order. She wasn't going for it, right? And like I said earlier, I shouldn't let other people's emotions dictate, especially where I work at, how I maneuver. I can't control them. The only person I can really control is me. So remember earlier in the beginning of the video, I say take a deep breath, just breathe and think before you do anything. Really wish I would have done that back then. So I shouted out like an idiot for an earshot of management and other co-workers. You not getting your fucking order. Dead ass. You're not getting the order. I'm sorry. I'm not doing it. Point blank period. Stupid. But I'm not doing it. Like my whole attitude is you got me fucked up. If I was smarter, I would have just said, hey, I'm gonna talk to management about this and see if we can come with another resolution. None of that crossed my mind. My stupid ass. I ain't doing that shit. You got me. No, I'm not doing that. You can go somewhere else. Do you hear the arrogance in how that sounds as a 21, 22-year-old person that really doesn't have a lot of life experience, trying to tell the organization that can replace you at a moment's notice what you are not going to do? Now, I'm not saying that you should bend the knee in every situation, but there's just a way of going about it. And for some odd reason, in my younger years, I used to always go about it the wrong way. There are ways to do it. Needless to say, because they bring a new management in, and why not make an example out of my ass? Oh, we got us a live one here. He thinks that he's above the program. So they send me home and they say, you're suspended to further notice. Anybody who's ever been in that situation, you already know what time it is. You're essentially fired. So I get sent home, and it's bad. Walked out, tell me, blah, stop this, somebody take over, walked out, don't come back. They finally call my phone and say, hey, you're fired. Now, here's why this is stupid. Although I was already applying for jobs, and just luckily at the time something called me back. Why that was stupid is I still at that point, even at 22 years old, I still have bills to pay. I still have things to account for. I still got things in my name, credit cards, so forth and so forth. I have a 401k plan that they match with you, whatever you put in. I had a lot of things going on, and to let one emotional outburst, if not for luck of circumstances, could potentially ruin everything. Is essentially the moral of the story. And I know that a lot of people are gonna look at me and they were like, well, I know better. I'm like, it's easy for us to say this as people. And I want to be perfectly transparent when I say this. It's easy for us, because I struggle with it now sometimes, but everybody can tell you what to do, but it's different when you see them in the moment, because a lot of these moments come just as fast, and before you know it, you're in a situation, you can literally feel your blood boiling. For me, my legs shake. When I'm pissed off, my legs start to shake. Most people get it, and I'm not scared of you at all. It's my legs are shaking. It's adrenaline pumping through my body. I'm ready to go. And just as fast as they're giving you the advice of, oh yeah, man, calm down, conflict resolution, this, that, and the third, it's so hard. So I don't fault anybody for not being perfect. And I just want to bring the awareness to the situation that, hey, anger, especially in my life, it has cost me a lot. I have more situations. Another situation was actually at my last job before I'm working at the job I am now. If I were smart, and here's the thing, what I mean by if you never like check on these things, you never do check-ins, and you never, self-reflect, you're bound to repeat the same problem over and over again, right? So I start this job, and I'm right away, I notice some bullshit. Any job that you work at is going to be, it's politics. You're going to have the favorites, you're going to have the snitches, you're going to have the kiss ass, you're going to have the people that be ducked off in the corner that don't do no work, you're going to have the people that just do their job and leave. We all know it. If you've been in the workforce long enough, no matter what era you work in, it tends to be the same thing. Right? And you would think at my big grown age of 28 when I started there, you would think at my big grown age of 28 with big grown bills that I would, have learned something from 22, right? This is what happens when you don't get checked in life and things blow up in your face. Here's the thing. The situation that caused me, as I'm about to go over the story, the situation that caused me to explode, it's a valid crash out. But the way I went about it was completely wrong. And I gave them reason to mess my life up. I recovered, but I gave them reason. So let's go. So I'm 28 years old. I'm getting in better shape. If you've been watching my channel for a long time, you'll know, go back to like 2022, 2023. I was in some of the best shape of my life. I'm still am now. Working out, doing this and the third. So I'm making all the good changes on the outward side, but not the inward work. So I'm still angry. I'm just as angry. I'm still like mad about a whole bunch of shit. So I'm working, and I was trying to get full-time at this part-time job. And I'm like, I've been putting in the work, doing this. I've been going hard. I work extra days. I do this, I do that. And they keep passing up on me, and they keep giving it to someone else. Right? Now, as I am now, I will be like, okay, well, clearly they don't want me for the position. So I should either A, go talk to these people and ask for clarification of why I'm not getting said position, or B, just go look for another job. Just look for another job. I didn't do neither one of these things. What I did was, my smart idea is, I just want to be angry and hostile about it. For what is that going to do? It's not going to change their mind. If anything, I just solidify why they didn't give me the position in the first place. Somehow, some way, I get the position, the full-time position I was looking for. And that's where things took a turn for the worse. And I've learned as I got older, be careful what you ask for. Now, even though I got to position, I'm still very resentful at the people for how I got it and what I had to do to get it. Right? It's almost like I have to beg you to get this. And it's like me throwing my pride on the ground. I'm honest about it. It felt like I had to throw my pride and ego on the ground and say, hey, I need this position. I've done the work. I've done this, that, and the third. Cool. So, again, everything takes a turn for the worse when I actually get the position, because now when you're a full-time employee, no matter what job you work at, you're there more often, so you peep more bullshit, right? Now, here's the funny thing about this. I still have that I'm untouchable mentality, even though I got terminated for one job because I thought I was bigger than the program. I've quit other jobs because I thought I was bigger than the program and put myself in a financial hole. And you would think, again, at this point, at the grown age of 29, 30, that he wouldn't make the same mistake again. Well, you would think, right? No, I'm a fucking idiot. So, get the full-time position. I noticed the bullshit. I'm like, okay. They fired this guy. He's a good worker. They're firing management. He's a great worker. And I noticed there's a tendency of the people they tend to fire. They tend to fire people that have a backbone, that just don't sit down, or either A, bootlick, or B, just be quiet and just act like it's not happening. And the way I act and my disposition in life is, I'm the exact opposite of that. So essentially, I'm bucking the system. And for whatever reason, it never dawned on me that, if they would get rid of them, you're watching coworker after coworker after coworker get fired. And anybody who's worked customer service retail, you already know what time it is. Turnover rates are extremely high. You would think that that would be the precursor to you saying, you know what, I need another job. I need a backup plan, because if this does not work out, or if the trend keeps happening the way it's happening right now, I'm going to potentially be out of a job. You would think I would have that wherewithal, but here's where comfort kicks in. So I'm resentful because I have to do all this extra work that other people didn't have to do to get said position. And now I am comfortable because I'm making some pretty decent money, all things considered. And especially when you have a two income household, we're making pretty decent money. I'm making enough money where I can essentially pay everything on my own, even though we have 2 people in the house. So I'm noticing this, and what really triggered me, and again, I shouldn't have done this. One of my favorite managers, and I sympathize for his situation. I'm not gonna put his personal business out there, but I sympathize with the situation and what he had going on. And they fired him for the most minute reason. You know, those asshole managers that sniff around and look for things and that don't have a life and their whole life is the company. He was one of those kind of guys. But the guy that, that I'm talking about that got terminated, he was an upstanding dude, man. He wasn't perfect, but he was an upstanding dude. He tried. And I should have read the writing on the wall where he started being uptight towards everybody, and because he's trying to keep his job, but there's nothing you can do at this point. When they want you going, you're going to get going. But they got him out of here. And I knew it was so unjustified, but again, why am I upset? It's not my situation. I could feel for him all I want to, but that should not dictate how I do my job. Dummy. I'm mad, I'm making a fuss, and now the favoritism and the attacks come my way. The retaliatory attacks start coming towards me. And you would think with me, being as intelligent as I said I was earlier in my 20s, that I was book smart. Emotionally not there. Book smart. So you would think I would have enough wherewithal to see it. I would have the foresight to see, I see what's happening. And again, apply for another job. They made it where they clearly don't want you here. I watched somebody that came in the job, and no hate towards the dude, he came in the job and within a couple of months he became a manager. I've seen people that's been here before I was here, didn't become a manager. I see all these things going on, and I'm not peeping the game because I'm so mad. And when you're mad, you have tunnel vision. There are people that were putting me up on game and saying, hey, do this, this is how you make it here, blah. I'm not hearing that shit because I'm going to do what I want to do because, again, I think I'm bigger than the program. So let's go ahead and get to the ending. They start doing the things that, now that I know, they're trying to get you out. So what they normally would do first is they would start micromanaging. And all the micromanaging is to do is to simply infuriate you enough or provoke you enough to do something stupid. Once you do something stupid, they can put you on a PIP. Now, PIP is documentation. If you don't know what a PIP is, if you get one of those, you're out of the door. You're essentially gone. It's a performance improvement plan. Once you get on one of those, you are essentially out the door. So I end up, they micromanage, and the way they do it is they're saying we're coaching you. They're not coaching you. They're getting you out of there. They try to be all, I'm doing this for your help. It's very manipulative, but they're saying they're doing this for your benefit. They're not doing it for your benefit. They're getting you out. They do that. So my big-headed ass says, you know what? I'm upset, and I don't like the way I'm being treated at this job. So I'm going to be even more angry, and I am going to tell my grievances to my coworkers. Now, I want you to hear what I just said, and I want you to say it with me. I'm a dumbass. I'm going to say it one more time. I decided to grieve. I decided to share my grievances with my job, with my coworkers. That is the biggest sin that you could possibly do in any workplace. Never do that. Because guess what they're going to do? They're going to tell. They're going to tell, and why wouldn't they? They can smile in your face all you want to, and you can be cordial with your coworkers. I'm not telling you to be weird and not talk to people. That's definitely how you get out of there. But there are certain things, you keep your business to yourself. You feel a certain way, you keep that shit to yourself. Don't tell them folks that. That's how you get that. End up like me. So I tell them my grievances, and they're like, yeah, man, you know what? It's always been favoritism here and blah, blah, blah. And yeah, I understand your problems. And all that does is confirmation bias and feed my ego even further. So I'm like, yeah, man, they're going to have my, they don't have your back. I'm going to be real with you. Any workplace, they don't have your back. So I'm emboldened to do the dumb shit I'm doing now at this point. So it gets so bad, so they put me on a PIP, again, a performance improvement plan, right? Now, when they give you said performance improvement plan, what that essentially means is they're going to give you some vague terminology on what you need to do to improve. The problem with that is it's not objective. They're not giving you times and dates on what you can improve on. It's essentially improve until further notice or you're fired. And in the my PIP's case is that's a full year. So after the PIP, it's even more provoking. Now, let me tell you what I could be doing perfect work, because at this point, I know I'm on thin ice. I'm stupid, I'm not that stupid. I'm on thin ice. So I'm applying for jobs, finally, but too late. I'm applying for jobs, and you know how it is, like 3 or 4 months. If you're applying regularly, it takes about 3 to 4 months, maybe 5, sometimes 6 to get a job, right? I'm doing this, and I'm trying to do my job as immaculate as possible. I'm documenting everything, documenting the wrong way, by the way, but I'm documenting my work. I'm not really talking to nobody. I'm making sure everything is spick and span. I'm never late. I'm always on time. No call outs, no nothing, right? Doesn't matter. They want you gone. So every other day, I am getting sent to the office. And again, as me being an idiot, I am getting more mad and frustrated. Instead of me being smart, and this is what you would do in this situation now, you document this stuff and you send it to yourself, and you also send it to HR. So there's always a record of what's been happening. But you need to do this the moment you see it happening. The moment you are getting micromanaged and you're doing things that they know that they're not, you notice the favoritism and stuff like that, start documenting immediately. Again, if I was in my headspace and I was channeling that anger the way I was supposed to be doing it, instead of like getting mad and lashing out, channeling that anger and say, all right, we need to strategize on a way to not only protect myself, but teach them a lesson that you can't just mess with me. These people, it got so bad, I'm literally having anxiety attacks at work. Like, even thinking about it, I get PTSD. I'm like, I'm having anxiety attacks at work. It's so bad. So, but the final straw is I had the, and here's how the story comes full circle. Even with I have a loud outburst, a really loud outburst. And essentially I'm on the walkie. Customers can't hear me, but every coworker and every manager can. Stupid. So I simply said, you got me, you know, blah, 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 etc., etc. Hood, ghetto, whatever. I was letting them have it. And why did I do that? Why did I do that? That was stupid. I went home. I didn't get sent home. I worked the full day, and my birthday was coming up, so I took the extra day off. And remember how I told you they was firing people back to back? What they did to one of my coworkers is they fired that man essentially once he left work. They called him on the phone and fired him. Now, you know where I'm going with this. So I go home, my birthday was cool, had a great birthday, 31st birthday, great time. Now, the next day after, which is the kicker, I'm like, they called my phone, and I already had an idea what it was, right? They called my phone and say, hey, you've been terminated, blah, 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 you know, the whole spiel. And I'm like, if they asked me, is there anything you need to say before, you know, get off the phone or whatever? I'm like, nah, I already know it was coming. It is what it is. And I hang up the phone, and I wish I thought the way I do now. And I'm like, you know, as mad as I want to be with them for what they did to me, and what they did was deplorable, the way I handled the situation did not make it better for myself. So eventually I end up finding a new job, and I learned my lesson. Like, I don't explode. I don't do none of that crazy shit. But needless to say, I want you to grab from both of these stories that, look, Anger can really ruin your life. You got people that's out here going to jail over small shit. Like they're going to prison for 20, 25, death row for small shit. Stuff I'm talking about in the grand scheme of things is small, but in the way the economy is right now, you can't afford to slip up. You can't afford to let people be pissing you off and you end up losing your job and you take 6 months to find another job. And most of us are living paycheck to paycheck. Again, this channel is about my stories and cautionary tales about things that I have messed up on, and I don't want you to go through the same thing. Anger can really, really mess up your life in multitude of ways. I just want to use work as a medium and an example, but it can go in relationships, it can go into friendships, it can go into anything. But that's all I got to say for today, man. I hope you guys really enjoyed the story. I'm glad I got it off my chest. It's very therapeutic for me. I'll catch you guys in the next video, and until then, y'all be safe and peace.